Hello, and welcome to another stream. This one is going to be fun. I'm your host, as always, Justin, and today, as you can see, we are in the lab, not in my kitchen, as we usually are, because today we're doing something a little bit different. So, as you saw from the title, and the thumbnail, and the description, and all the other things, today we're going to be playing with my new biorobot. And I've wanted to play with this robot for a really long time. I actually got it back in December, and I just kind of started playing around with it, and then everything got locked down, and so it has been sitting at the hackerspace that I used to work out of um, since then, basically. And so only recently have things kind of calmed down enough that I've been able to move it into my current lab, and so now it's all set up, it's ready to go. And I noticed on the um, so there's two ways to program it. There's a website with like a nice GUI where you can like program everything really nice, and then there's an actual like Python API. So if you want to do something really weird with it, you can. And apparently the Python isn't particularly difficult. But I saw that the GUI has recently been updated to support um, the modules that it comes with. So um, this is really exciting. I'm super excited about this because previously the only way to program the modules was through the um, Python API, and so you couldn't just do it through the GUI, which was a little annoying. But they've since updated that. So let me just give you a little bit of background. The robot is the OT2 from Opentrons, and Opentrons, they're a really cool company. It's a really cool robot too. Everything is meant to be just super sleek, and as user friendly as physically possible. So I'm really excited to learn how to use this thing properly. I have done a little bit of messing with it. Like if you go on my Instagram account, um, sorry, I just got to deal with a fuckhead. Um, so yeah, if you go on my Instagram account, um, there is some video and that sort of thing of me actually using the robot. So like I had it basically like pipette out little droplets of water. And we'll probably be doing something similar to that today. I realize I forgot to grab the food coloring, so I'm gonna have to grab that in a minute. But there is a chance that when we actually start looking at the robot, because I'm running the like an external camera so that you can see it, it might make the stream lag. So we'll see. But fingers crossed that it remains stable. And if that does happen, I have some contingencies planned. It's just not gonna be pretty. I'm just I just need to do one quick thing before I switch over to the um, screen view, so you can see what I see. For whatever reason, it's not letting me moderate through OBS, so I just need to open up another window for when people are being dicks, and so that I can mute them, because shit's annoying. But other than that, you'll see that there's a donation bar. The robot's very cool. I have a fair amount of stuff for it, but like all things in biology, there's lots of like disposable things that you need to get at like the tips, because it takes special tips, which I actually found this out the hard way. If you try and use regular pipette tips, and I'll actually show you um, what the difference is at some point during this stream. But if you try and use regular pipette tips, they are much shorter. So why the fuck? Why why is this why is this demonetized? I haven't done anything yet. It's just fuck's sake. Um, anyway, yeah, the tips that the robot uses are much longer, because when you think about it, the tips that you use for like regular bio stuff, it can be much shorter because you can actually stick the end of the actual. So here's a pipette, for example. Um, you'll see that this bit is fairly thin. So this can actually fit down into a tube. Um, so let's get. Okay, you're getting hit. Okie dokie, yeah, but so you can see that the pipette tip is fairly thin, so this will actually fit down into a tube. Whereas because of the way that the robot works, it's got a big flare on the end of the actual extendy bit, so that it can eject the tips properly. But this is obviously a problem because then the thing can't fit down into the tubes, and yeah, so that's a problem. So they've just got to make the tips longer, is basically it. And so I tried using regular tips, and it ate a tip. So that's a funny thing. Anyway. Can you repeat the vehicles again? Whatever. But yeah, so basically the only goal for today is to kind of learn along with you guys, and basically just see how this is gonna how this works. See how you design protocols. See how you use the machine, that kind of thing. So this ought to be a lot of fun. Hopefully, we can actually get some stuff done. So unfortunately I don't have enough space to set up my second screen, so it's a little hard for me to keep an eye on the comments and donations and stuff. But I do have my phone, so I'm gonna try and just moderate that way. Anyway, but yeah. So anyways, any donations are going to go towards basically just disposables for the robot. There's some aluminum blocks that I need to get machined for the heating module, for example, and so it would go to covering that. And there's the tips, obviously, which you can only really buy in bulk, so you got to buy a lot of them. But I mean, it's a robot that burns through pipette tips like they're like they're Tic Tacs, so it happens. But anyways, it is a very cool robot. I'm very excited to play around with it, and so let's kind of just hop in and get doing. I'm gonna see if I can open up the comments on my phone really quick before we get into this, just so that I can basically see comments and stuff. Because once I've got the programmer open, I'm not gonna be able to see the comments. So I just want to be able to see if I can do that. Okay, cool. I've got it open on my phone, and it's a video, so it shouldn't brick it. Lovely. Yay! Wonderful. Okay, cool. I think I have sorted my issues. Let's get into this. So if I go to Sheen, that should be good. Now OpenTrons. Okay, so this is the actual protocol designer. This is the website where you actually can make programs very easily, and I mean it's extremely intuitive to use. Honestly, like there's, it's truly very, very, very easy to use. So I'm gonna set this up. Also you can see the different modules here, and I have these two. So I have the magnetic module and the temperature module. I don't have the thermocycler. The thermocycler alone is like 4K. So actually, this is a really good time to mention. So one of the reasons that I got this machine was specifically to show that you can make modules that aren't the things that the company sells. Like the whole thing is meant to be customizable. It's all open source. You can get most of the like 3D files for almost every part of the machine, and like the tip boxes and all kinds of different stuff. So I have this. So I'm gonna switch this back to camera for just a second. So I have this. It's the Pro PCR. It's a little thermocycler, and it's cute. It's so tiny, and it fits in the machine perfectly. So basically, what I'm going to be doing is modifying both this and the machine, and basically making it so I think I'm gonna have to put some sort of like motor mount thing so that it opens up on its own. Um, and then I'll have like tubes preloaded in here and some way to close them. I haven't figured that out yet. But then this way, like the robot can do all of the prep. So if I've got to run a whole bunch of PCR reactions, it is a pain in the ass to set them all up. It's super annoying. But if I can have like a pre set protocol, like so basically I could have so there's I think nine. No, there's eight. There's eight little holes in here. Am I counting right? Yeah, there's eight little holes in here. So basically, if I had nine or eight protocols pre-made for basically anywhere from 1 to 8 samples, and I just always put things in the same spot, I could basically just like grab the DNA that I need, grab the reagents I need out of the freezer, stick them in the robot, grab the right protocol, depending on the number of things, press go, and it'll just load everything up for me. Alternatively, I may not have the thermocycler in the machine. I can just have it do all of the prep. So, I can say, I need this number of tubes prepped, load all the reagents. And it'll just do that. Put the water, put the enzyme, put the next thing. So that's kind of where this thing shines. It basically, all of the really annoying things that you have to do in bio, it can do it for you. All you have to do is basically build a protocol library. So the more times you use it, the more protocols you'll have. And also there's a protocol sharing library for everyone else who has this robot. So in theory, what you could do, and so what I'm going to be doing, I haven't mentioned this, but I'll be doing many videos about this robot, especially as I learn to use it and customize it and all this kind of stuff. But one of the things that I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be designing a set of protocols where basically all you have to do is put the right reagents in the right spots and the right modules in the right spots, and you can just press go, and in theory it should do everything that you wanted to. So like everything that I did, like if you load it up with all the same reagents, you can basically do the exact protocol that I did and in theory get the same results. So that's very, very cool. More videos, less streams. No. So yeah, there's some questions about will I be showing the machine. So assuming this is the camera's off. Classic. So yes, you can see this is the machine. This is a live view. You can see my hand there. But yeah, I'm not gonna be keeping it on that view unnecessarily because that makes it lag instantly. So we're going to be mostly sticking to this view and the normal view while we program the stuff. And then once we actually have something programmed, I'll set it to that, and fingers crossed it doesn't brick the stream. If it does, sorry, we'll adjust. Anyways. So yeah. That's the thing. Okay, let's get into it. Let's do the thing. And okay, I gotta switch this to Sheen and then go back to here. Go to this. Okay, so one of the first things that I want to do personally, and this will actually basically get us to doing shit with the machine as fast as physically possible. I want to see if we can make the modules work. So right now, I have the magnetic module in the thing, so it's this one. I don't know what generation it is. I assume it's generation 2, because it was brand new. Doesn't say on the thing. So we're going to go with Gen 2 and hope that this is correct. I have 2 pipettes, and so it can only hold 2 pipettes at a time. So I have the P10, P20, I think. I think I have a P10 Gen 1 and a P1000. So when I was picking the pipettes, I realized that I'm an idiot, and I was thinking about this in terms of what pipettes do I use in normal stuff, like in my like day-to-day bio stuff, and I wasn't accounting for the fact that The whole point of this robot is that it can do things that I would never do on my day-to-day stuff because I hate doing it. So, for example, there's something called the 96 well plate. And I hate these things. Truly. That's what a 96 well plate looks like. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's a plate with 96 wells in it. And these are awful if you have to load them by hand, because I'm a little bit dyslexic, and also like your eyes just like defocus when you're looking at this, and so trying to remember which frickin' well you're supposed to be loading is always a pain in the ass. And so I had to load these a few times when I was in university, and I don't think I ever loaded one 100% correctly, because inevitably you lose your spot, you forget which one you're on, you stick a reagent in the wrong hole, and then immediately realize your mistake, and you're like, oh god, I've wrecked it. And it screws with your data. And so I hate using these things because it's just always awful. But when you have a robot which will do it perfectly every single time, it doesn't matter. So I should have gotten and so what I will eventually do, probably one of the fundraisers at some point, is going to be for another pipette, because I want to sub out the P1000 for a P300. So a P10, P300, P1000 is referring to the amount of maximum volume that the pipette can hold, basically. So the only problem with the P1000 is the minimum amount of liquid that it can pick up is 100 microliters. So there's now a chasm between a P10, which can only pick up a maximum of 10 but go down to 0.5. So there's a chasm between 10 and 100. So if I need any reagent that comes in, denominations that, or like I need to add more than 10 and less than 100, the only way to do this is either with the P10 having to burn tips constantly, or just not. And it's kind of silly. That was my bad. Somebody donated. Couldn't see what it was. Oh, thank you, James the Builder. But yeah, so that's the thing. Oh, that was on Streamlabs. Do I have Streamlabs open? I do. What was the comment? Refresh, please. Refresh. Oh, damn it. Fucking. It's the one problem with trying to do this with my phone. I'm so used to having my second computer here so that I can actually see what I'm doing properly. But here we are. Okay, so we got two comments. Have you heard of goat spider milk? Are you worried about confirmation bias? I have heard of the spider goats. I think it was a cute idea, but ultimately flawed. But I'm not really worried about it. And then the other one is, can the robot have any error percentage? I want one. So it's very accurate. If you program it right, it is extremely accurate. Okay, so let's pick a tip rack. I have the Opentron 96 tip rack 10 microliters, and I've got the 96,000 microliter. But this is what there's like loads of ability to have custom things. Also, in theory, you can make custom pipettes, although I wouldn't necessarily suggest it because that could get weird. Okay, so let's go back to the stream. There's a question about price. That kind of depends. I believe the cheapest is $3K. But yeah, I mean, compared to, so it is an expensive robot. There's no question about that. But compared to what a liquid handling robot normally costs, like a liquid handling robot normally costs like $20,000 or $30,000. So the fact that this thing only costs a couple thousand is much better. Much better. Okay, so we've got everything loaded in. I'm not gonna... Actually, you know what? I'm gonna No, yeah, this is fine. This will be fine. Silicon Valley would kill to have you. Well, I'd fucking... We would not get along. Um, yeah, me and Silicon Valley don't... we don't get along. Okay, so by the looks of it, I have this set up right. The left channel has the little pipette in it. So, cool. I don't think I need to hit create new. I think we're good. We're going to call this magnetic test. Because really, I just want to see the magnetic thing move up and down. Because since I've got it, I haven't been able to make it do that. I also haven't tried, but, you know. Okay, liquids. We're going to add just a test liquid. I'm really not... it's liquid butts. I don't really care what the thing is. I just want to... okay. Basically, I just want to... get it to move the magnet. So why is that the only place where I can put the magnet? That's dumb. That's okay. Well, I'm gonna have to reorganize the machine. Oh, there's a question. Best way to donate? I would highly suggest if you're going to donate through the link in the description, because if you donate through Super Chat, YouTube, being the pricks that they are, take 30%. So I do appreciate Super Chats, but just be aware that not all of the money that you're donating ends up with me. Whereas if you donate through the Streamlabs links in the description, it does. I think other than like a PayPal fee, which is almost nothing. Okay. So seemingly it'll only let me have the magnet in one spot, which I think is kind of annoying, but I mean that's kind of the price you pay for using their tool. So I'm gonna have to reorganize the machine because I don't know if you remember from the 3 seconds that I had the robot on screen, currently the magnetic module is right here in this corner, so I'm gonna have to move it, and also these two are currently where I've got the tips. So that's fine. I'm gonna move that. I want to move the tip racks so they're not in the way, because at the moment, like, actually I'm gonna switch that around. Basically, so that you can still see what's going on. Because like if I wasn't streaming this and I was actually just trying to do work, it doesn't really matter where things go, because I don't really need to be able to see. So like if there's something in the back corner and there's something tall here, it's kind of hard to see it. But like if I'm just running the robot, that doesn't matter. But for the sake of being able to see like what's going on, then it kind of does. So I'm going to say that there is labware here. This is tube rack. Oh, I forgot they had the nested. So the other really cool thing is that they've got whatchamacallit, like a lot of the files are, what was that? Oh, somebody donated. A lot of the rack files, for example, are available, so you can 3D print them. So you'll see that the racks that I have in there are not purchased. We printed them. So I'm just trying to see if, okay, so this is 24 racks, 1.5 mil. I believe this is the one that I'm using right now because they're offset. So this goes here. Yeah, I'm gonna just have them there. So the other thing is, and I've got the, oh god, what the hell? That is not what I wanted. I just wanted to select it. Okay, that's fine. So cool. I've now got my 2 tube racks and my magnet and the other thing. So cool. That's basically all I needed to do. We're gonna just call this a well plate because that's all this can do. But so basically, okay. So let me give you a little bit of a rundown of why this magnet module, for example, is useful. So if you wanted to do DNA extraction, normally what that requires is something like a centrifuge, which obviously is kind of bulky to try and shove in a liquid handling robot that can only move up and down, especially when the holes are going to have to inherently go at an angle. Um, so if you want to do DNA extraction, the other way to do it, rather than like spinning down the bacteria and then lysing them and then running it through a column, is to use magnetic particles. So basically, what you do is by just adding the right solutions to your like bacteria solution, for example, um, it'll it'll explode the bacteria, release the DNA, and then you add these magnetic particles that will only stick to the um, what the fuck the DNA. Then with this magnetic module, basically when it's literally got a bunch of rows of permanent magnets in it. So when the magnets are lowered, the DNA or the particles are free to just float around. But when you raise the magnets, it basically attracts all of the particles to the bottom and holds them there. So you can then use the pipette to remove all of the liquid, and then you can lower the magnet again so they'll float around. Add some clean water, or usually salty water, because that keeps the DNA stuck. Um, and then you pipette up and down to mix it, and then raise the magnet again. It'll pull the particles to the bottom, and so basically it's just a way of doing DNA extraction without having to do a centrifuge. And I have magnetic nanoparticles for this. I bought a kit specifically to do this. Um, and I mean, it's in theory it's pretty efficient. So I'm pretty excited to be able to do that. Okay, we got some stuff. I want to just see what's what. Oh, okay. We got a couple. So we got a donation from No Name. We got a donation from Nico, and we got a donation from Parker. Thank you, everybody. It's really, really greatly appreciated. Okay, so now that we've got the deck state set, inevitably, before I actually run this protocol, I'm going to have to actually set the deck to look like this, because otherwise we're in for a bad time. It's never a good idea to run the machine when it's like in a state that it's not expecting, because if it doesn't know that a piece of hardware is in there, there's no way for the robot to know this. There's no like magical sensor that, like, I stuck some googly eyes on it, but like beyond that, there's no way for this thing to know if hardware is not in the right spot, and so it will just crash into things. So I found that, like I was saying earlier, I found this out the hard way when I attempted to use the wrong pipette tips and told it that it was the regular ones, because I couldn't find a way to, like, in this GUI, I couldn't find a good way to tell it what the size of the pipette tip was, and so it thought the tip was much longer than it actually was, and so it just drove it through the base. It was not a good time. That shattered the tip. Um, so we got a question here. Can algae be engineered to create complex carbohydrates and starches? They already do. Um, that's how they store the sugars. They don't just store it as sugar. That's not space efficient. So yes, they absolutely can. It would be very difficult to make, like, or not very. It would be tricky to make like algae potato starch, but I'm sure with enough time and effort and money, you could probably figure it out. Okay, so all I want to do is magnet steps. I literally just want to see the thing like go up and down, and then we're gonna run the protocol just to see what happens. It's gonna ask us to calibrate everything, and we'll go through that calibration, but we'll make do. Okay, so disengaged is okay. Max height is 9. Upper bottom. Okay, this is neat. So I want it to go all the way. So I'm gonna actually set this to disengage to start with. So disengage means send the magnet all the way to the bottom, because I think by default when they shipped it, it's currently sitting at its highest point, which we don't want. Just trying to set this back to the comments so I can actually see. So there's some comments about that this is expensive. Again, yes, it is expensive, but it's only expensive but when it comes to bio, everything's expensive. Like fucking one tube of cells this big can cost 5 grand. So if my choice is one tube of cells or an entire bio robot, I'll take the bio robot. Like it's just so okay. So now we've set it to disengage, and now all we're gonna do is we're gonna set it to engage, because I want to see it go up and down. That's it. That's all I want. I'm gonna set this to 10 because I want to see the motion. And we're gonna click save, and final deck state. It should be up, and actually then we're gonna make it go down again. This is it. This is what a testing protocol looks like. It's nothing fancy. Oh, did somebody donate? Did I miss that? But also, so the other thing is the only way to, so there is actually a camera built into the robot, but I want to mount a GoPro to the pipette arm, so that's on the list of things to do. The only way to access the camera is through the Python API. You can't do it through this GUI yet, but that's fine. Yeah, there's some questions about having like a mod to deal with comments and stuff. Yes, I know. Normally I would have somebody who could be focused on comments and that sort of thing, but it's been a weird week. It's been a very weird week. Okay, well, so this is done. So let's do this. So now I go to File, I go to Export. That's fine. What is this? That's fine. Yeah, so I updated the robot before I did any of this, so that's fine. So this should be fine. Okay, so now we've got the magnetic test. So now this is the actual app that you control the robot. So it's connected over Wi-Fi. So hopefully this doesn't impact the stream too much, because that would be deeply annoying. Yeah, this is the thing. So let's go. So it's already connected. I can control most things through this. Like I can turn the lights on and off. I can calibrate it, home it, all that kind of stuff. I wonder if you can see the. What the fuck is that? I wonder if you'll be able to see that in the camera. I'm gonna give this a try. I'm gonna set this to external cam, and we're gonna see if it just absolutely shits the bed. So basically, this is a test to see if the stream is gonna die when I do this. So sorry if it does. If that does happen, I'll set it back to this camera, and then I'll just kind of have to reshuffle things and kind of like aim my laptop at the thing. And I don't know why it bricks when I do this, but all right. Well, pucker your buttholes. Here we go. Camera is live. Yeah, okay, you definitely can't see the robot arm. So I'm gonna readjust the camera really quickly, just so you can see it. Is that in focus? No, it's not. Okay. So I've got it aimed at the actual robot arm right now. So let's set it to external cam, so you should be able to see that. I'm keeping an eye on the signal strength and watching for it dropping out, and we will see what the fuck is going on. Alright, so I clicked home. You can see it kind of wiggling around. Did it instantly freeze? I don't know if you're able to see that, but the thing moved. that was really the important thing. Okay, so I'm going to set this back to just camera because the stream really doesn't like it when I leave it on external cam. So I'm going to just take a second to... actually, I'll switch this back to scene so you can actually see what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm going to just upload the protocol. So click open. I assume that's just in downloads. Yeah, magnetic test. Cool. Open. Okay, so the first thing it's going to do is it's going to simulate and make sure that everything looks good. And then basically I'm going to have to... What the fuck? Oh, shit. Okay. That's not good. Balls. What? Why? What do you not... What do you not like about that? I think I might actually have to tell it to move the pipette. That's dumb. That's real dumb. Okay, so let's just go back to this page, and I'm gonna have to tell it to move the pipette because otherwise it gets on. It doesn't like it if the pipette doesn't feel used. Are you really just gonna keep spamming that? That's really fucking annoying. Okay, we're gonna go transfer. What? Your labware has no liquids in it. Okay. That's fine. Okay, fuck. Fine. I'll put some liquid in here. What is going on? Unsave stuff. Okay, fine. Delete stuff. Fine. Name and liquids. This. Test liquid. How much liquid is in here? There's 500 virtual microliters. Back to deck. Okay, now we can add a step. I'm just gonna do a mixing step. I'm just have it pipette air. Mix volume. We want you to mix 200 microliters twice. And then we tell it what thing we want. I believe it's this one. This one. Save. And I gotta tell it to use the other thing. So it's just all this little thing. So you basically have to tell it exactly what we want it to do, essentially. So in this case, we're just gonna tell it never to change the tip. Like, there's no point. Actually, you know what? Before I start a step, why not? Save. Oh, I grabbed the wrong one. See, this is what, like, I like that it checks. Like, okay, actually, wait a minute. Go back. From the wrong one. This one. Save selection. Okay, save. Okay, good. Now it's actually fine with that. But I'm very glad that the GUI actually checks. Like, it makes it so that if you upload the protocol, it doesn't just absolutely shit the bed instantly. Yeah, that's fine. Like, I'm not gonna disconnect the frickin' pipette just so that it can do that. Okay, open, ignite test, open. Okay, let's see if it's more comfortable with this. It's the one problem with doing it live. Like, what? What's wrong with it now? For fuck's sake. Is the robot? What the fuck? Robot. Current version. Firmware version. Yeah, I did the thing. Ooh. That's new. So I just noticed that they've actually added a whole host of new things. This is actually really cool. They've updated the app. So originally the door has a safety switch on it, but when I was first testing this, I assumed incorrectly that if you just open the door, that it automatically just kills the robot, so that it does, you can't stick your hand in a thing that's running. But that was not the default. It's still not the default. But now they actually have the ability to turn that on, so that's really cool. They also have tip length calibration. So this is actually really... That's really handy. Well, okay then. The other option is I mean, it's connected to the robot, so there shouldn't be a problem. The pipette is fine, so that's fine. What is wrong with my test? Creation method, unknown application. What the fuck? What? Ah, balls. Okay, well let's just try this. Let's just try and make it do something without the magnetic module and see if that was the issue. And again, all of these problems can be solved if I was using the Python API rather than this. But we're trying it out live just because I wanted to see how like instantly it'll work. That's fine. Test. So basically, I'm gonna just give it a liquid, same as before. Liquid name, butts. Description, also butts. Save. Liquefied butts. Okay. Setting up your... Yes, that's fine. Okay, how do I have this set up currently? I'm going to just put this there. I'm going to only give it one rack because there's literally no point. Otherwise, fucking tired. No modules. Where did you see no modules connected? Robot. Pet and modules. No modules detected. Oh, then power it on. Tell me there's not a fucking on switch. I'm an idiot. I think there's a switch. Alright, give me a second. I'm gonna just pop over to the robot so I can see if there's a switch. Oh man, I'm fucking stupid. The issue is I'm an idiot. I plugged the USB in. I didn't plug the power cable in because I'm just used to shit being powered through the USB. I forgot that it needs a separate power supply, which I have. I just didn't plug it in because I'm stupid. Wow. Okay. Yep. So whoever just caught that, thank you. Oh, fuck. I'm so stupid. Okay. I'm gonna set this to external view, so you can kind of just see me bumbling around. I apologize in advance if this bricks the stream, but yeah. Okay. So. Whoopsies. Okay. So I'm just gonna point this back down. Okay, so you should be able to see this. So I should be able to show you the issue. So you'll see on the back here. If I just adjust the focus. There's a power port. There's a power port there, a USB port here, and because I'm a moron, I forgot that I need to actually power it on. What a strange concept. You might be able to see my head. So this is the power brick. So, this is what I mean. I've literally never used this before, so I don't know what the hell I'm doing. But the fact that I was able to figure this out without having to read a manual is already pretty cool, and I'm into it. So let's get this plugged in. I should sort this hopefully. There we go. Click. Okay, got the other half of the power connector. And by some miracle, this hasn't bricked the stream yet, so that's exciting. Because I was worried about that. Okay, I've got the power thing connected. I'm just plugging it in now. Oh. Oh, it did the thing. That's real exciting. Okay, so I'm gonna, oh god. So just a nice quirk. I don't know if you can see this. So this tip box isn't actually sterile. It's been opened a bazillion times. It's just my tester. So you can actually see that these come as stacks. So instead of having to just get a whole refill, because this part isn't autoclavable for whatever reason, the whole thing lifts off. So this comes as like a whole stack that you can replace, and just like keep it clean. But I have fresh ones underneath. But anyway, yeah, I just grabbed it by the wrong spot. So I'm gonna put this here. I'm gonna move this tip rack here, and then the only place that it was okay with the magnetic module being was this corner, for whatever fucking reason. So I'm gonna put that there. It's now actually powered on, so in theory, I should actually be able to run this without it shitting the bed now, which would be really nice. Unfortunately, the camera I'm using is like bokeh to the frickin' max, so inevitably some things are going to be out of focus. So I apologize for that, but it is the way that it is. Oh, actually, I've got to move the tube racks. So you'll see these are 3D printed. This is why they look a little rough, but they still work. So that's the important thing. So inevitably, I'm going to have to calibrate these, and what I end up doing, because these are different heights, I'm going to have to calibrate them without, like, by starting without them in their position, because otherwise it will try to drive a pipette tip through it, because it thinks it's shorter than it actually is. So I'm going to move those once we actually get into the calibration step. But for this particular red hot second, we're gonna not bother. Okay, let's try this again. I'm just gonna leave the thing, like the external camera on, and just describe what I'm doing. I'm currently attempting to reopen the protocol, and fingers frickin' crossed, it doesn't shit the bed. Oh no, it shit the bed again. Okay, well now we have a new problem. Okay. Well, this is exciting. Okay, I'm going to set this back to scene so you can see what I'm doing. Shit. I do not know what's wrong now. Because it's definitely connected. What happens when I press this button? Oh, that is actually the power button. It moves. That's cute. Okay, let's go robot. Let's go pipettes and modules. Ooh, okay. I'm gonna update the magnetic module. And oh, it is Gen 1. That would be the problem. We've solved it. The issue is I'm an idiot, as usual. Okay, the firmware has now been updated on the thing, and I need to change the program. So we're gonna have to go back into the programming screen. What was that? Troy, just send me an email. I can't message you on YouTube. That's not a thing. Just send me an email, man. Thank you for the donation, but also send me an email. Okay, so let's go back to the old thingy. Okay, file, create new, magnetic module, same shit as before. Mag test. It's just the way it is. So I'm using all Gen 1 hardware, not Gen 2 hardware. So today we learned. Okay, well, it might be you can't PM on YouTube, man. Just send me an email. Fuck's sake. Module Gen 1. See, we're learning. Yay. Yes, that's fine. Create bang test. Okay, liquids. Butts. Description. It is butts. Save. Okay. Add step. Add magnet. Magnet step. Yes. That's fine. Actually, starting dexter. Okay, 1. sense. Okay, I'm just reorganizing shit. You know what? I'm not even gonna tell it that there's a tube rec here. I just really would just like to see if this will do it. Yeah, when you're like, send me a message on YouTube, they got rid of that functionality like 5 years ago. I miss it. That was really cool that you could do that. Now we've got to like send people a message on Twitter, which is just deeply pedantic, but whatever. Okay, that's fine. We now have a well plate there. We're going to do this. Magnet. So first things first, we want to disengage it so it goes down. Because it's the whole point of this test. I just want to see the fucking thing move. Recommended. 12. Okay. I don't know why. But yeah, seriously, Troy, there's an email on the about page of my channel. Just send me an email. Oh, that's interesting. The heights are different. That's really, really interesting. Huh. Okay. Save. So it's now been engaged, and now we add a step, and we want to disengage it this time. Okay, save. Okay, that's... okay, let's give this a try. So final deck state should be magnet disengaged. Wonderful. Okay, file, export. Yes, fine. Now we go here, we go to protocol, go open. We hope it doesn't shit the bed, because that was really annoying. Do you think? Come on, do you think? What? Now what? Everything's updated. I've got the right hardware. Agmod. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. So what the hell? Okay, I'm gonna reboot the robot, because this is dumb. I don't know. Yeah, there is a manual. It's online. I just wanted to... The whole point of this is basically to see if I can just bumble my way through it without having to look things up, because it's meant to be. But I'm gonna restart the robot. See if that fixes anything. Somebody die? So yeah, I'm just waiting for the robot to do its thing. I can see it booting. It takes a minute or two. And then that's the arm. So that should be on in just a second. See if that's the issue. I don't know. Alright, let's turn the lights on. Alright, lights are back on. Wonderful. Is it not? Okay, connect. I am connected. Wonderful. Protocol. Wait, do I have to calibrate it? I hope not. Maybe that's what the issue is. Maybe it wants to be calibrated before I use it. It worked! Oh my god, okay. I literally just needed to turn it off and turn it on again. For fuck's sake. Why is that always the solution with electronics? This is why I like bio. Like, that's never the solution. The solution is usually, like... and then dump it in bleach and start again. Which I suppose is the equivalent of turning it off and turning it on again. So we got a question from Caleb. Any hope for future microfluidics projects? Yeah, at some point. Just bear in mind the question of, um, is there any hope for, you know, insert project here that I've mentioned previously? You got to keep in mind, uh, the pandemic fucked all of my plans. So all the questions of like, are you gonna do a thing? I was planning to, but there's kind of a slight issue with that at the moment. Um, what? What's this? What's this? Required pipette is missing. Wait, what? Did I? What? Oh, fuck. Son of a bitch. Gotta do this again. But I grabbed the wrong pipette. I gotta re-export the file. See, I mean, this is frustrating, but it's important because the fact that it caught this, yes, continue. That's fine. The fact that it caught this is actually really important because, like, I didn't notice this. Like, I was just rushing, and so I didn't notice that I'd picked the wrong pipette, like an idiot. Um, so the fact that it caught that is very good. So we're gonna just export this again, and then we're gonna open it again, and we're gonna hope that it doesn't brick it this time. Open. Yes, that's fine. Alright, fingers crossed it just works. Yay! It worked. Huzzah. Okay. So I'm going to set this to the external camera now so that you can basically see what the calibration looks like. And the camera is off. It's turning on. Give it a second. There we go. Okay, I'm going to try and zoom this out a little bit. It's going to get a little... yeah, there's going to be a little bit of blackness around the edges, but we're going to just go with it. I like James' comment. Dump it in bleach and start over again. A 2020 campaign slogan if I ever heard one. Yep. How much do we have to donate for spider goats? Well, I mean, you're first gonna have to donate a goat, and also probably $100,000. Spider goats are hard. Raising goats is hard. I'm doing spider yeast. I'm like, yeast I can do. I actually just received... Sorry, I'm getting distracted here. I'm going to set this to camera so I can talk. I actually just received the DNA I've been waiting a fucking month for so I can finish up part of the Spider Silk project. So part of the last video I put out on this channel, the golden yeast one, was I needed help transforming yeast because I have plasmid. Like, the Spider Silk project is theoretically done. All I have to do is, like, put the lime in the coconut, like, get the DNA in the fucking yeast, and then I've got Spider Silk. That's the plan. But getting the DNA in the yeast has been extremely frustrating and challenging, and I haven't managed to do it. But part of the reason I made that video was because I have managed to get DNA into yeast once, and I wanted people's, like, experts who work on yeast to give me their protocols and tell me how to fix the issue, and they did. So now I can actually revisit it, give it another try and get the DNA in. But I also ordered some extra pieces of DNA so that I can cut the spider silk gene out and stick it into an E. coli plasmid. So not only will I make spider yeast, I'm also going to make spider E. coli. So I'm trying to do everything all at once. It's a thing. Anyway, back to the topic at hand, which is I'm going to calibrate the thing now. So let's set this back to camera. Okie dokie, smoky pokey. Proceed to calibrate. Let's calibrate the left. What the fuck? Prepare for run. Okay. What? What the hell? Pipette is not used. Run. Oh, it'll just let me go. Hell yeah. Alright, fuck it. I mean, if it has no problems with this, I'm gonna just press go, and we're gonna see what it does. Alright, it's running. I've got my hand on the pause button in case anything goes terribly, terribly wrong. Okay, it's homing right now. You can see the arm in the little corner there doing its thing. Alright. Okay, the homing sequence is done. I just heard it stop making noises. Hey! Oh, it works! Was that it? Did it do it? that's, that's so silly. I thought it went down further than it actually does. I I think it's done. It did the thing. That was it. That was wow. That was a lot of work for just. Yeah, people are concerned about the lids because it's not going to go for any of the pipettes. It wouldn't let me calibrate the pipettes because it doesn't use them and it knows that. Um, so there was nothing to calibrate. It's just like, well, why would I calibrate this if there's no thing? But yeah, so it's fine that the thing is there, and it sounds like a 3D printer because it's 3D printer parts. Like, at the end of the day, it's a glorified 3D printer. Like, yeah, um, it moves the magnets. That's so cute. Everyone's concerned about the lids. If I was using one of the pipettes, I would be more concerned about the lids, but I'm not. Um, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna zoom in so you can actually see that better. And I'm gonna run it one more time just so you can see this do its thing. That's so cool. I'm so glad that this works now. This is like legitimately I can't express how excited about this I am. Um, this is really really cool. Like the fact that um, this can actually just do this without issue is amazing. Like huge shout out to the OpenTron team that this is so easy to use. Like all of the issues that I've had thus far are because I'm an idiot, not because this is hard to use. Like, alright, it should do the thing. Alright, you ready? It's done homing, so it should do the magnets. There it is. Yay! Yay! Oh man. I am way too excited about a magnet moving up and down, but here we are. This is my job. Uh, um, I'm seeing a lot of like RTFM. I have actually RTFM, which is why I've managed to make it this far. But this is new. This is new functionality. I haven't like uh, attempted to make it do this before, so I'm just like working through it. Also, it has nothing to do with manual. It's literally I input the wrong data. Like I didn't know I didn't know which version of the module I had, so I just picked one and I was wrong. So here we are. Okay, so that's the magnetic module. I want to see if I can try and get the temperature module to do the thing now. So I'm gonna set this back to scene, and now I'm gonna go back over here. So let's go create new, and this time I'm gonna tell it that there's the temperature module in here. I'm gonna tell it that there's the single channel Gen 1, 10, and single channel Gen 1, 1000. Let's give it imaginary tip racks. Let's give it another imaginary tip rack. I say imaginary, like it knows that the tip rack is there, but like it's not gonna fucking use them. So I assume this is Gen 1 because uh, I guessed Gen 2 last time and that didn't happen. So let's just do this. Oh, interesting. So it wants the temperature module on the other side. So presumably this is always the default spot for the temperature module, and then this is the default spot for the magnetic module. In theory, I could plug both of them in. I just need to find another um, uh, cable, which I don't have. I mean, I do have it. It's just I don't have it at hand. So that's kind of unless that's it. Wait, give me a second. I'm just gonna step off camera for a second, so I can actually see if I have this extra wire. Ah. So I see a USB cable, and in theory, the only reason I would have a USB cable over here is if it was the one that I needed, but I've been wrong before. Oh, what the fuck? No. That is definitely not the right cable. Ooh, that is, though. Wow, that's real short. That is not gonna fly. Another one that's longer. Kind of, yeah, actually. So these ones are longer. I don't know how well you're gonna be able to hear me because I'm facing away from the mic. And yeah, I realize I may need to restart it again if I'm disconnecting things. So I have a new cable, but it is quite short. You know what? I think what I'm going to do is so the cable that's currently connected to, again, I don't know how well, so the cable that's currently connected to this, I'm going to just unplug carefully. Just because this one's a hair longer, so I should be able to snake it around to the other side where the other module wants to go. Just bring the mic with me, actually. So yeah, hopefully you'll be able to hear me a little better now. So, I'm going to just plug this in. Carefully. Actually, you know what? That'll reach just fine. If I was actually doing a proper run, I would probably want, you know what, this one, I think this one's a hair longer. No, these are identical length. Like perfectly identical length. So this doesn't actually matter. I'm gonna leave them both plugged in. Because why not? Let's do a protocol that requires both. So I'm gonna move this. I'm gonna just get these out. I am going to need to power this, which we learned the hard way last time. So I'm going to plug this in advance, just because it's weirdly shaped. Oh shit, I'm going to have to actually remove this. Does this clip in? How does this clip in? I honestly don't remember how this goes in here. How does this do the thing? I don't remember how I got this in. Doesn't. Ow. Ow. That hurt. I'm gonna look at this one. Let's see. I don't remember how we installed this last time. Oh, it's magnets. Oh, it's magnets. Okay. Cool. The answer is magnets. You just push. So you can't really see. Well, actually, you can see this, but there's a cover on the side here that basically makes it so airflow doesn't get in unnecessarily. Whoops. But for the case of this module, I literally need the extra room. So that's a little iffy, but whatever. So yeah, in theory you would run longer cables out the hole in the back, around the outside, and then to the side so that you leave the deck clean. But yeah. Okay, so I'm going to actually have to open up another power box. You can tell I've never used this because it's still in the box. Half of it. Where's the other half? Oh, there's the other half. This is very cool, though. The fact that all these modules just like click in and fit is really, really nice. Like truly, I'm thrilled about this. It took me a second to figure out what the hell I was doing, but now that we're there, and I'm starting to get a better idea. Like that was the whole point of this stream. Like I knew it was going to be very, like me bumbling my way through this. but I wanted to show that even just bumbling my way through this, we're actually getting stuff done pretty easily. Because it's designed that way. Okay, which way does this go in? This goes in like this. Click. Okay. Okay. What did I just do with the other half? Okay. So I'm just running the power cable right now, and then we can actually give this a program, see what it can do. That's one half. That's the other half. And click. Okay. I don't know if you can see that on the camera, but it's got power. Ugh. I'm going to raise the camera a little bit so you can actually... No, there's too much light. Can't really see it. Yeah, it's hard to see, but there is actually a number indicator right there to show that it is, in fact, working. Ooh, I like the contrast on that. I'll turn up a little bit because the capture card doesn't like it as much as my camera does. Okay, that was exciting. Yeah, cable management is definitely something I'd have to be concerned about if I was doing this fully, but for the sake of just test runs today, I think it's totally fine. Okay, so I'm just gonna reposition stuff. Okay, we now have the temperature module connected. So while I'm going to reboot the robot. Actually, first of all, I'm going to update the... Ooh! I can just set the temperature without having to program anything. That's fucking cool. That's very neat. I don't know if you saw that, but it just did a whole bunch of power cycling stuff. So I don't even need to write a program for this. I can just tell it a temperature and it'll just go. 0. Be cold. Target. Oh, I hear it going. Wow, that's really loud. I'm going to move the mic so you can hear this. That's the noise in the module. That's really cool. Where is my thermometer? I have a thermometer. Can you see this? No, it's also in disgusting Fahrenheit, so. Oh yeah, you can see that. That's not bad, that. Oh wow, yeah, it's cold. That's really neat. So this module can do anywhere from I think 0 to 95 degrees. So it can either keep your samples cold or it can make them hot, and it can do it fairly quickly. It's not overheating. The sound is because it's got Peltier units in it, so it literally has to get that heat out, otherwise it'll melt. So my thermometer is actually reading a little hotter, but I assume that's because of just the fact that this is an IR thermometer. But I mean, the fact that that's almost at 9 degrees is what it's reading. And I trust the reading on the machine more than I trust this shitty little thermometer. Yeah, I think that is condensation on the plate. Yeah. So ideally, these actually come. Okay, so I'm gonna tell that to just go back to room temp because that's. Oh, that's so cool. I just noticed that. Okay, so under the. Give something to point with. It's far. So this is the readout here. Underneath, this little LED changes color based on if it's getting hotter or colder, and I just noticed that. It was blue before, and I assumed that it just blinks blue when it's running. No, it turns red when it's getting hot. That's really cool. This is, I mean, it's hot, but it's really cool. This is neat. This is super neat. I honestly, I am loving this. Like, there's so many like little sleek, um, like things that they've built into all of these little modules and stuff. I love it. It's so cool. Um, but yeah, this is wild. I'm loving this. This is so freaking cool. Okay, so it's now set to 25 degrees, so it should be back to room temp, and it is. I mean, it feels totally normal. Um, oh, it's fun. I can hear that every time it like goes out of temp range. I hear it, um, like throttle. That's really cool. I think the ambient temperature is, yeah. I mean, the lab is a little warm, so it's closer to like 27 degrees in here. Um, and so it, like I set it to 25, and so it cycles every now and then as it leaves temp range. So that's very cool. So there've been some questions. I'm gonna set this to camera because I mean there's nothing to look at the moment. So there've been some questions about like what can I do with this robot, and because of these modules, I can do a lot. And also the part of what I pitched to the company when I was first getting this robot was that I'll make custom modules. So one of the things I want to make is I want to make a little module that like streaks a plate. So something that has. Do I have a petri dish handy? Kind of. Kind of do. So this is a really old petri dish. It's dried out and all fucky. But so like I want to have a module that basically has a petri dish in it like this, and a little arm that'll like open the dish up, or I mean more likely kind of do this. Um, I don't know. Haven't decided yet. And then like a little. Do I have a fucking? Um, so this is an inoculation loop. So I wouldn't use this. I'd use a swab. But basically, I want something that like opens the lid and turns the bottom half as this like goes back and forth, so that it can streak a plate. So like I can have the like do a transformation protocol, for example. So I could have it do um, like an electroporation protocol. So like I'm gonna make a little electroporation unit to go in there, like a little electroporation module. So it's gonna have a electroporation cuvette, and it'll have the little electrodes and stuff. And so basically, it'll load. The first thing it'll do is it'll load the cuvette for me. Um, it'll do the shocking, and then it can pull out the finished bacteria solution stuff, load it into another tube, let it incubate, do its thing, and then when it's ready to go, when it's time to plate, there'd be a plate module where it can just open it up, squirt the liquid in, do the streaky, and then call it a day, and then I could basically have it do the entire protocol all in one shot. Now, admittedly, the amount of like workspace in there is limited fundamentally, because you've got to have one for each module, one for the tips, one for the racks, each. But I do have, I think there's 11 module slots at this point, so that's pretty cool. Um, I'm pretty thrilled about this. I'll be honest. This is really freaking cool. Okay, so the last thing I want to do just to wrap it up for the day, just because I've got other things I need to work on today, and this has already been very cool. But like I say, other things to do. I want to actually show what it looks like when it's picking up tips and stuff. So, I'm gonna just do a. The fuck was that? Oh, Discord. But I mean, this could. Oh, man, there's so many cool things. Also, the So the walls of the robot are all acrylic. I mean, it's nice like aluminum supports, but the actual like enclosure is acrylic. The top has a nice flat acrylic plate, but the company that makes this, Opentrons, is going to be rolling out a HEPA filter unit to go with it. So like it's a big filter unit that fits on top and blows clean air over the workspace. So that way, because right now it operates as what's called a dead air box, which is basically like if you sterilize everything really well and you just bleach and you can like I'm gonna mount a UVC light in here so that it just sterilizes the crap out of everything. But also I'm gonna just be able to like spray it down, clean everything. But then once it's closed, it's dead air. So like it's not sterile per se, but it's sterile enough. Like it shouldn't. Throat's bugging me. Give me a second. Better. Anyway, so it's sterile enough. It shouldn't contaminate your stuff. But the HEPA unit would actually keep it like clean air. So any not clean air would get blown out the sides, which means I could actually leave the little side vents open so that it's easier to keep things plugged in without it like risking contamination, if that makes any sense. But either way, it's very cool. And I mean, I have a HEPA filter unit behind me. Like I have 4 different HEPA filtering air units in this building, and so the lab does stay much less dusty. But I'm probably gonna get one that I can just mount, or I can just have like in this little corner, just to keep this area extra clean, kind of thing. Or I might just mod the top, fucking just stick a HEPA filter unit in it. I don't know. Haven't decided yet. But that's the thing. Okay, so the last thing I want to do is I'm gonna let's go to scene, and let's make a protocol where it actually needs to pick a tip up. Just so that we can actually, I want to show it. I want to show you what it looks like when it picks a tip up. And how the calibration works and this sort of thing. So let's just go to File. Let's tell it that there's 2 things. So I've got a magnetic module, because I also want to see where it wants to put the modules when there's 2 of them in here. Also, you gotta figure, with a thermocycler, a temperature unit, and a magnetic module, you can do most BIOS stuff. Like there's very few things that you can't train this thing to do. Like for example, the Opentrons has put out a protocol that would allow you to run, like with 10 of these robots, you could run 100,000 COVID tests per day. Not like per week, per day. So you'd have basically like one doing some of the prep, like prepping the little sample wells, one of them like doing the next step, one of them running the thermocycler, one of them running the next thing. So I'm actually going to be like the next video that I'm working on is a COVID video. I've been working on it since fucking January. But that like I'm going to be showing off the robot a little bit. I'm like, it's not the focus of the video at all. Like the testing is the focus of the video. But it will be featured in the video briefly. Just so that I can show that, like, they have developed a series of protocols for doing this. Yes, I'm sure I want to create a new file. What? Oh, somebody donated something. Qu'est-ce que c'est? Streamlabs thing. I'll see what that was. Load faster, please. Okay. Can I get a follow back on the gram? Maybe. I've got a toast. Okay, liquids. We're gonna give it a new liquid. Butts. It's always butts. It's just butts all the way down. Because what is the point of being a professional if you can't have fun? Okay, starting to, yeah, okay, so it does put these in exactly the same spots. That makes sense. So we're going to put the P1000 tips here, we're going to put the P100 tips here. So at the moment, I don't actually need to change anything because this is just the way it is. Although I do need to give it a tube rack just so that it thinks that there's something there. And I'll put one there, it's fine. Let's add a liquid. I'm going to just add liquid butts. There's 500 microliters of butts. And okay, design. That should be fine. Okay, done. Go back to deck, please. Okay, so add a step. We're gonna go transfer. I want it to transfer 100 microliters using the P1000 from this well. Save selected. And I want it to transfer it to one well over. Move the butts just a little bit. Okay, before I ever aspirate, yes, that's fine. Save. And then I'm going to tell it to do a mixing step, and I want it to, basically I'm just making something up so that it uses the, like all the tips, basically. This is fine. I would like it to mix the 100 microliter butts. Save. Okay, save. So, I mean, you can see that it just writes the protocol for you really easily. Like, this took 12 seconds. This is great. And I'm also going to, I just want to see it do all of the things. So I'm going to add some magnet steps here. So let's go engage, 12, save. I just want to make the thing dance, essentially. Magnet, disengage, save, add step, magnet, engage. This is totally a nothing protocol. Like, there's nothing. I'm not doing anything specific. I just want to see it do things because it's cool. And then we're gonna add a step where we're gonna turn the temperature on. Change temperature from whatever the fuck room temperature is down to 5. Save. And then pause. And then once it's at 5, I'm going to tell it to come back up to regular temperature to, hey, I tried, 27. Save. Then pause. And then final deck state, where this is now at room temperature, this is disengaged. It did some mixing. But of course, like, so again, if you want to actually see this thing run, there's some videos of it, like a complicated protocol. I don't have the stuff handy to actually make it like draw out little happy faces or whatever. But I did do that, and so you'll see that in the video, and there's also some video of me doing that on Instagram. So if you go to my Instagram, you can see it do that. Okay, so this seems like a good example protocol where it's just going to do a bunch of bullshit, basically. So let's export this. Oh, it's untitled. Okay, whatever, that's fine. Let's go protocol. Let's go open protocol. Let's open the untitled one. Click continue. See if it freaks out. Sometimes it does, as we've learned. No, it's fine. It's totally fine with that. That is dope as hell. Okay, before I proceed to calibrate, now it's going to actually want to calibrate the stuff, so I'm going to switch this back to the external camera. And then we'll give this a go. Oh, it's black. I didn't push the button. See, I'm a professional, I swear. Okay, so I'm gonna drop this. I'm gonna drop the camera down so this is easier to see. Because this happens closer to the back of the thing. Okie dokie. Okay, so to do the calibration, the first thing I actually have to do, just gotta duck under this wire. The first thing I have to do is actually remove the garbage tray thing, and I'm going to actually throw all these tips out because they're long. So just take 2 seconds. Luckily, the only thing I've used in this machine thus far is food coloring. So, you know. Okay, so I've removed the thing, and you can see there's little switches here. Interesting. Okay, so I'm going to take the lids off of the thingies now, as everyone was complaining about. Alright, calibrate left tip. Move pipette to front. So it's going to home first. You can kind of see it doing that. It's now homing. Now it's going to move the pipette to the front. Okay. So, now what I have to do is I have to give it a tip. Like it won't just pick one up because I haven't calibrated the. I'm gonna move the mic so you can hear me. I haven't calibrated the thing yet, so it doesn't know where the. Basically, it never assumes that it knows where something is unless you've explicitly told it so. So now I'm gonna click confirm tip attached. And now it's gonna do the thingy. Boop. So basically, it's zeroing out where the actual pipette tip is. Boop. There we go. Cool. So now it wants me to remove the tip, so I'm going to remove the tip. Now, obviously, if I was doing this for real, I wouldn't be, like, manhandling the tips like this. Don't tell me it crashed. Come on. Is it? No, it's fine. Yeah. Sorry if the stream is lagging. There's nothing I can do about it. Confirm tip removed. Continue next pipette. Calibrate tip. Oh, okay. There we go. So now it'll give me the other thing. Okay, confirm tip attached. It'll now go and run the other one. Boop. Okay, so basically now what I'm doing is I've got to drive it around, and like get it into the right spot. So it's not going to look like much because it's not moving very much. I need to get it a little lower because it's a little high. Did I hit that wrong? Also, I did say this is the part where the stream is going to lag like hell, so I apologize. It's some weird glitch with OBS and my capture card, and there's nothing I can do about it. There you go. Now it picked up tip. Yep, save calibration. Now that it knows that the tip was successfully picked up, it's going to eject the tip. Okay, so move to next tip rack. So it's now gonna. I might get a little loud because it's running the temperature module. Temp got too hot. Okay, so now it's calibrating the P1000 tip. So again, I'm gonna just move it around until it's in about the right spot. I'm really eyeballing this, just because I'm far away and this doesn't really matter. So okay, let's tell it to pick up tip. Okay, it has done the thing. Now it's going to put the tip back. Never mind. It's going to use the tip. I'm gonna lie. Actually, you know what? I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna give it a tip rack. Give me a second. Ow. I'm gonna give it a theoretical tip rack. I'm gonna actually turn the jog speed up a little bit because it's really high up in the air. Yeah, it looks about the middle. Okay, save calibration. Okay, cool. So now everything has been calibrated. So I'm going to click return tip and proceed to run. And it should just do the thing. And it successfully ejected the tip, which is very, very good because I had issues with that when I first got it. It's now ready to go. So I'm going to click start and we're going to just let it do its thing. So it's going to home first. It always does. Which I love because it makes the googly eyes bounce around. And, I mean, all good hardware should have googly eyes. I'm a firm believer of this. Okay, so we're going to have it run a theoretical protocol. It's empty, so it's not going to actually pick anything up other than tips. But, oh shit, I got to put the garbage back. It's the last thing it was missing. Okay, so let's click run and let it do its thing. Alright, so it's going to home again, as it always does, and then it should proceed to picking stuff up and doing a thing. Alright, so it's going to pick up a tip. So remember, the program told it to first transfer 100 microliters of water from the first theoretical tube. So in theory, it would have just done that. Now it ejects the tip, and now it's going to switch pipettes to the little one. Pick up a tip. And now it's doing a mixing routine. So it doesn't look like it's doing anything because there's no obvious liquid in here, but what it's actually doing is pipetting up and down to mix the theoretical liquid that would be in that tube. So once it's felt that it's done that sufficiently, then it will be ready to go. So now it's going to eject the tip. There it goes. And now the next thing it should do is the magnetic module, I believe. So now it's comfortable that... Yeah, there you go. See, it's doing the thing. So magnetic module went up and down, and now the last thing that I told it to do was change the temperature on the temp module. You can see that it's now flashing blue, which means it's working. It's now powering up. It should start immediately cooling down. So that should plummet down to, I think I set it to 5 degrees. So it's going to go down to 5 degrees, and then once it's down at 5, it'll bring it back up to 27. Now this is obviously empty right here, as is the magnetic module. Normally you would have... I'm just trying to grab this. It's a little bit out of reach. Okay. Normally for the magnetic module, you would have something like this installed, which I don't think I can do without loosening it. There we go. So yeah, normally you would have something like that installed, so that it could actually like interact with all the tips. And then with this, normally there's an aluminum block that goes on here, but I don't have the aluminum block, so I'm going to be having one machined. So once I've got the aluminum block, then I can actually put little like tubes and stuff in here. One of the other things that I'm going to eventually be doing is making a special attachment for the end of the pipette, so that would fit onto the end of the pipette and then be able to pick up tubes and move them. Because right now the only way for it to move stuff across, like through the deck, is to like pick up liquid, not the tube, just the liquid, like suck up some liquid, move it somewhere else, and that's the only way things can move. But what would be better is if it could actually pick the tubes themselves up. So like for the heat module, for example, you'd probably be better if it could just like pick a whole tube up, move it somewhere else, stick it in a rack kind of thing. Yeah, this is going to be really cool. It's now cooling down very efficiently. It's down to 17 degrees. So at the moment, the protocol is paused until it gets to the right temperature. So it's going to do that. Once it gets down to temp, it'll bring the temp back up, and then that's the protocol done. So now you got to figure, since it can do all of these things, it's going to be really, really cool to actually, replace the random nonsense that I just threw in here with actual reagents, actually like sterile hardware, and basically teach it how to do bio, because there's a lot of very repetitive tasks in biology that are they're annoying. They're very, very annoying to do, and they take a ton of time. So what would be amazing is if I could tell this, like a cloning run, for example. I mean, I don't mean like cloning as in like making people. Cloning is when you're taking DNA out of one thing, cutting it apart, putting it back together in a different way, and then, putting it back into another organism. So that's a cloning run. I want to be able to teach this thing to do a cloning run for me, so that in the morning I can just set it up, let it go, and go about the rest of my day, do other things, and just let the robot do my job for me, and while I'm doing other things, and then I can just kind of come back in the a few hours later, and in theory I'll have, if I make all the upgrades to this that I really want to make, then I'll also be able to have it do a lot of the other like tests and stuff too. So for example, I don't know how well I'll be able to show this right now because there's lots of stuff in here. But if I take this out, which normally this would be a terrible idea, but whatever. So this is a gel box, and you'll see that it just basically fits perfectly into the robot. So one thing that I could teach it to do, and I've been actually working on a little bit already, is run a gel. So if you look on my Instagram, yeah, that is a very specific donation. Thank you, Mr. Roberts. I appreciate it, but also very specific. So if you look on my Instagram, there's a picture of a gel that I loaded using this robot. So what would be amazing is if I could have it, do a cloning run, or maybe like give it a petri dish, and mount a camera that has some like computer vision so it can see where the individual colonies are, and then tell it, find 5 colonies, make a solution, prepare 5 tubes full of growth media, put a colony in each tube, put it on the temperature module, let it grow for a few hours, and then in a few hours, run a DNA extraction, and then run that DNA through a gel and tell me what DNA is in each of those colonies. So like that could be really, really amazing. That's a ton of work normally. Like that's a whole day. That's hours and hours of work. Whereas if I can just load the thing and press go, that would be amazing. So that's really the point of this machine, and it's definitely going to take a lot of learning. Like there's not the video on so I'm doing at least 2 videos dedicated to this machine. It's going to be a hot minute before I actually make those videos, because this is such a complicated machine, and modifying it is tricky, and there's so many other things. So it's just like, it's going to take time, but we'll get there. And this is the whole point of this stream, was really to just kind of show the first foray into that, and show what's possible and what can be done, and the sort of the base capabilities of the machine, and then also what I'm planning. So like the gel box, for example, I would probably put in like the back corner
so that it's out of the way, and it's because right now it's eating another deck space. But if I had it just off, like out of the way in the back corner, I just calibrate it so I tell the thing where the wells are. All I got to do is basically just wait for it to load, and then have it push the button, which I don't know if it can necessarily do, but I might have to push the go button, but that's fine. Once the gel box is loaded, who cares? Like that's an easy thing for me to just do. I'm going to stick a camera on it because I want to have that nice overhead shot, because this shot is really nice for what it is, but for a video it's going to be way cooler to have that like nice overhead shot, and you can like see the pipette moving up and down as it goes. Basically all the little modifications that you can think of for this machine are possible. That's the nice thing about it being open source and modifiable. Like it was meant to be hacked. Now, admittedly, a lot of the clientele who normally buy these robots are not going to want to do that. Like, the reason that GUI that I showed you earlier exists is because people just want a big red button, for the most part. I am definitely in the minority of people who want to mess with this robot and get it to do things it was never meant to do. Oh, thank you, Jonathan. Greatly appreciated. Dr. Ubert, just send me an email. There's an email on the about page of the channel. Just send me an email, and then we can talk. But yeah, so getting the magnetic or the heat block modules is one of my first priorities, and also just buying more of the disposables. So just more tips, more racks, I have 96 roll plates. I don't. Oh god. Camera turned off. There we go. Sorry about that. But you know, just getting some of the basic hardware. The aluminum blocks cost $500 from the company, but it's just an aluminum block with holes in it. So I'm just gonna get them machined, or find ones that'll just fit basically, and just use that, because there's no reason to pay $500 for a chunk of aluminum. But yeah, so robot camera is coming. I have a GoPro somewhere. I don't know where I put it, but I do have a GoPro somewhere. I'm gonna make a mount for the robot so that you can actually like see it doing its thing. It's gonna be pretty great. So the stream is lagging a little bit. I think you can still hear my voice probably, but oh, okay, good. It unfucked itself. I mean, the reason the aluminum blocks are the price that they are is because, you know, they have to make a profit still, and also, they're really nice. Like, to their credit, they're very nicely machined. Whereas what I want is, I don't really care how nicely machined they are as long as it works. But I mean, I'm grunge bio. That's just how I do. So it kind of depends on the clientele. But also, I'm currently talking with some of my patrons who have machining capability, and so in theory, they might be able to make some of the aluminum bits for me. Oh, thank you, No Name. Greatly appreciate it. But yeah, so it's all pretty straightforward. I mean, it's taking a hot minute for this thing to cool down. So, you know, noted. Like, it's getting there, but it's been stuck at 8 degrees for a fair bit now. Yeah, I think the blocks are in the GitHub. I mean, it's really... but even if it isn't, there's another page on their website where they actually post all of the hardware specifications. So, like, it tells you exactly the dimensions of the aluminum block. It tells you the depth of all the holes, the shape of all of the holes, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, that's the thing. So noted, this thing does not... So it's pretty hot in this room, so it's definitely struggling with the temp to get it down past about 8 degrees. So, you know, that's exciting. This is why we test. This is why we test. Um, I mean, yeah, if I'd love to do an AV collab if he wants to make me some aluminum blocks, that would be dope. Um, you should definitely all go message him and tell him to help me with that. That won't piss him off at all. Yeah, having the air vent open probably doesn't help. Having the fact that the door is open, like the door is here, and I've just got it open, that probably doesn't help either. But, you know, is the way that it is. I don't actually know if it's going to be able to cross that 8-degree threshold. I think I think it might be stuck. Um, hmm. I mean, I haven't seen the temp go down, so I think I'm gonna just cancel the run because I don't think it can actually go past 8. But we're gonna just call it. So now you saw the pipette retract. It's now rehoming because it always rehomes every chance it gets. Okay, I'm gonna click reset run, and that should just reset everything. While it's doing that, I'm going to go to the module, and I'm going to deactivate the temp module. So you can probably hear the sound difference. The module has turned off at this point. So it'll just start ambiently warming back up. So at the very least, it can be used for some amount of cooling. Like, I'll be able to keep, like, 8 degrees is actually fine for most things that need to be, like, refrigerated. So I think that would be totally fine. Okay, so I'm gonna just shift things around, move back to the other camera, so I can just wrap this up for the day. Oh god, no, let's not kick everything. Okay, let's set this to just camera. Okay, we're back. Yay! But yeah, so basically there's definitely some tweaks I'm going to have to make to the machine, but that's fine. I knew that going in. Like, that was entirely expected. This was a really, really great first run, and the fact that all the modules work basically perfectly right out of the box is awesome. So it's definitely going to take a little bit of time to make the rest of the modifications. It's going to take time to write the protocols and get everything dialed in really nicely, but we'll get there. So I'm pretty excited. I hope that this was informative. I hope this was interesting. I hope you could see the capabilities of the machine and are excited about the future and videos that are going to be coming out of this. There's definitely, like I said, there's tweaks that are going to have to be made. If the temperature module is having trouble getting down to the right temperature, it's because it's really freaking hot in here. So that just means I'm going to need to either cool the room better or do this at night when it's colder. Because of the way that the lab is set up, it's also the hottest room in the building. So if this were running in the other room where the AC was, that this would be fine. But I can't have the AC in this room because it's a biolab, and having that amount of air circulation that's unclean is huge no-no. Like, that's definitely going to be a problem. So this is why I don't have the AC in here, so it's inherently hotter. It's also a really freaking hot day out. So, you know, the fact that it's only 27 degrees in here is, you know, not bad considering I think it's 35 outside. So, but yeah, I'm really excited. I hope that this was as cool for you guys as it was for me. We'll be back to the kind of regular streams in the next couple of days, probably Tuesday. But we just moved the robot on Wednesday, so like I was really excited to try this out, and I wasn't in the mood for a Who's Gene, and I figured, you know what, let's just play with the robot. So if this is something that was interesting to you, once I've kind of worked out some actual protocols for the robot. I mean, even just something simple like just moving colored liquids around so you can kind of see the liquid handling capability. I might do another stream of just the robot if that's something that you guys are interested in. So definitely let me know in the comments and all that kind of stuff. And oh, thank you guys. So Mr. D and the one I don't know, thank you very much. Donations are greatly appreciated. But yeah, so once I've got more protocols, if this is something that you guys are interested in seeing, I will happily set this setup up again, so that way we can look at seeing it actually do some stuff. If you want to see it actually handling liquids, again, I will say that there are some videos of this on my Instagram. In fact, I'm gonna while I'm chatting, I'm gonna see if I can just pull this up really fast. I made 2 protocols where it was handling liquids. Basically, I was using it to draw pictures. So I had a flat plate of. It was basically just that orange rack. Where is it? Here's the orange rack. So basically, it was just this orange rack. And what I'd done is I put a white piece of paper on top, and then a layer of parafilm, which is this like waxy stuff that we use in the lab all the time. And that way I had a nice flat waterproof surface that I could basically put little droplets on, and I was having it draw pictures. So, okay, I've found the videos, so I'm going to just throw them up in the chat really quick. I'll try and remember to put links to these up in the thing, and that'll be good. Okay, so here's the. I see that it's lagging pretty hard, but nothing I can really do about that. It's just gonna take a second. My internet is craptastic, so this happens sometimes. But anyways, there's a link. Hopefully you can. Oh, sound is lagging now. Okay, I'm going to just give it a second, and hopefully it'll pull its head out of its ass, but if not, then we're just going to end it for the day. On. So not sure what the hell, but is the way that it is. I don't know how bricked it is, but other than that, I don't know. Okay, well, considering that the stream is finally kicked the bucket, I don't know. Okay, well, there's going to be links in the description. Thanks, everyone. I don't know if you can even hear this, but if you can, thank you, everyone.